Shalom. So we are still in the book of Devarim, and Moses is just recounting everything. It's like we're just getting a repeat of everything we've already done in the Torah. And my question is, why does Moses keep repeating the very things that we have already heard, and some of them more than once? So let's talk about that today. This week's portion is Eikev. Now, Eikev kind of comes from the word akev or heel, but in this portion, it's like because, comes from the word because. So the Torah portion is Deuteronomy 7:12 through 11:25. The Haftarah portion is Isaiah 49:14 through 51, verse 3. And the New Covenant portion is Romans 8:31 through 39. I want to start right in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12. Then it shall come about because, Ekev, because you listen to these judgments and keep and do them, that the Lord your God will keep with you his covenant and his loving kindness, which he swore to your forefathers. So, God is talking about some conditions here. If you listen and you do these things, God will keep his covenant with you and his loving kindness. In verse 13, he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your ground, your grain and your new wine and your oil, the increase of your herd and the young of your flock in the land which he swore to your forefathers to give to you. You shall be blessed above all people. There will be no male or female barren among you or among your cattle. The Lord will remove from you all sickness, and he will not put on you any of the harmful diseases of Egypt, which you have known, but he will lay them on all who hate you. I'm moving down to verse 17. If you should say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them. You shall well remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt. And that's really the clue to this today's question. Why did Moses keep repeating these things? It's because, how many times does he tell us? Remember, 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 and do not forget. It's just like our parents. Like, if we were blessed to be able to have time with our parents right before they left us, they wanted to tell us the things that were really important and the things that we wouldn't forget. Like, do you remember I put this here and I put that there, and all the things that we would need in order to make our life good? This is what Moses is doing. It's what the Lord wants us to do. Remember. Remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh, to all Egypt, the great trials which your eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders and the mighty hand and the outstretched arm by which the Lord your God brought you out. Now down in chapter 8. All the commandments that I'm commanding you today, you shall be careful to do, that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord swore to give to your forefathers. You shall remember all the way which the Lord your God has led you in the wilderness these 40 years, that he might humble you, testing you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. So there again, this gives us a reason for what God does sometimes when he's leading us through the wilderness. He wants to know what's in our heart, if we will obey him or not. Verse 3, he humbled you, and he let you be hungry and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you understand that man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by everything that proceeds out of the mouth of God. That's what we're reading right now, this manna from heaven that is more important than our earthly bread. In verse 4 of chapter 8, your clothing did not wear out on you, nor did your foot swell these 40 years. Thus you are to know in your heart that the Lord your God was disciplining you, just as a man disciplines his son. Therefore, you shall keep the commandments of the Lord your God to walk in his ways and to fear him. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and springs flowing forth in valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land where you will eat food without scarcity, in which you will not lack anything, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills you can dig copper. When you have eaten and are satisfied, you shall bless the Lord your God for the good land which he has given you. And, we need to just really keep this word in front of us. When we have eaten and are satisfied, how many meals a day or times a day do we eat and we're satisfied? Do we remember to bless the Lord because of what he's given to us? Verse 11 of chapter 8, beware that you do not forget the Lord your God by not keeping his commandments and his ordinances and his statutes, which I'm commanding you today. Otherwise, when you have eaten and are satisfied and have built good houses and lived in them, and when your herds and your flocks multiply and your silver and gold multiply and all that you have multiplies, then your heart will be proud and you will forget the Lord your God, who brought you out from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. That kind of reminds me of Nebuchadnezzar, right? When he became rich and he became great and he said, my hand, I have done this. And he forgot that it was the Lord God who had done that. In verse 16, in the wilderness, he fed you manna, which your fathers did not know, that he might humble you and that he might test you, to do good for you in the end. What a beautiful promise. Verse 17. Otherwise, you may say in your heart, my power and the strength of my hand have made this wealth. But you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who is giving you power to make wealth, that he may confirm his covenant, which he swore to your fathers, as it is this day. It shall come about, if you ever forget the Lord your God, and go after other gods and serve them and worship them, I testify against you today that you will surely perish. Like the nations that the Lord makes to perish before you, so you shall perish, because you would not listen to the voice of the Lord your God. Continuing on, in chapter 9, Moses recounts the giving of the Ten Commandments. He recounts the story of the golden calf. And then I want to go into chapter 10, verse 1. At that time, the Lord said to me, cut out for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the former ones, and come up to me on the mountain and make an ark of wood for yourself. I will write on the tablets the words that were on the former tablets, which you shattered, and you shall put them in the ark. I want to go down to verse 8. At that time, the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to serve him, and to bless in his name until this day. Therefore, Levi does not have a portion of or inheritance with his brothers. The Lord is his inheritance, just as the Lord your God spoke to him. And I think it's beautiful to look really at the role of the priests right here, because they were chosen to carry the ark, which was really, they were carrying the word of God. And they were chosen to stand before God, to serve him, and to bless in his name. How beautiful. Moving down to verse 12. Now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require from you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways and love him, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the Lord's commandments and his statutes, which I am commanding you today for your good. Now, how many times have you heard someone say, I really don't know the will of God for my life, I don't know what he's calling me to do. Well, this tells you very clearly one good place to start. It says, what does he require of you? And then he exactly tells what he is requiring from us: to fear him, to walk in his ways, to love him and serve him with all of our heart, to keep his commandments. What a beautiful verse. In verse 14, behold, to the Lord your God belong heaven and the highest heavens, the earth and all that is in it. Yet on your fathers did the Lord set his affection to love them, and he chose their descendants after them, even you, above all people, as it is this day. So circumcise your heart and stiffen your neck no longer. For the Lord your God is the God of gods and Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, and the awesome God, who does not show partiality or take a bribe. He executes justice for the orphan and the widow, and shows his love for the alien by giving him food and clothing. So show your love for the alien. For you were aliens in the land of Egypt. You shall fear the Lord your God. You shall serve him and cling to him, and you shall swear by his name. He is your praise, and he is your God, who has done these great and awesome things for you, which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down to Egypt, 70 persons in all, and now the Lord your God has made you as numerous as the stars of heaven. And just going to finish up this Torah portion with where we were in chapter 11, starting verse 18. You shall therefore impress these words of mine on your heart. God says, take my words and put them in your heart and on your soul. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals on your forehead. You shall teach them to your sons, talking of them when you sit in your house and when you walk along the road and when you lie down and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your sons may be multiplied on the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, as long as the heavens remain above the earth. And God is just saying, put my word in your heart. Put it on your doorpost. Put it on your forehead. Talk about my word all the time. Talk about it with your children. Talk about it with your grandchildren. Verse 22, if you are careful to keep all this commandment, which I am commanding you to do, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways and hold fast to them, then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will dispossess nations greater and mightier than you. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads shall be yours. Your border will be from the wilderness to Lebanon, and from the river Euphrates, as far as the western sea. No man will be able to stand before you. The Lord your God will lay the dread of you and the fear of you on all the land on which you have set your foot, as he has spoken to you. And we were reading back there about what does the Lord require of you. I want to finish with this verse in Micah, and it's chapter 6, verse 8. And in this verse, God tells us again, but in different words, what he wants from us, what he's requiring from us. So here we are, Micah 6, verse 8. He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. Keep those words in your heart as you go through this week of how we can love him more, how we can serve him better, and how we can really just keep putting this word in our hearts and impressing these words to our children and our grandchildren. God bless you today. Shalom.